Ready.
Hey boys and girls, welcome back to Monroe Live. Today is kind of like an update for me. I've been traveling a lot. Lots been happening here at Monroe, and I'm going to get some updates from Corey. We're also going to talk about some of the last things here that we've noted as we've gone through this battery pack. I'm going to put my gloves on in a second, but first I want to offer. This is the very first 4680 that came out of the pack. So we called it Baby Lana, and this is what I showed at the Tesla Takeover out in California. And I'm going to donate this to the one who gives us the most amount of money to my niece who's got leukemia. It's really expensive. This is her second bout. She's fighting it again. She's very young. We're going to show you a little picture of her. Anyway, I want you to go to the GoFundMe page if you want this. And the guy that, or the gal that gives us the highest donation by September 30 is going to be getting this. It comes in with a little certificate saying it's the first one out there, and it's signed. Comes in a little bag, and it comes in a little box so that you know you've got the very first one. So I wanted to do something. The family's been helping out and the friends and whatnot, but this will hopefully get them a few bucks to tide them over. Just to put things into perspective, the backpack that that Megan has to wear costs 30 grand, and she's on a new style of chemotherapy or something, and this glove don't work. There we go. And so anyway, like I said, if you want to have something special and you want to donate, the little information will be coming out below here. So anyway, let's jump into this. And the first thing I want to do is something that just makes me happy and proud. I'm looking at how the bus bars here are welded in and the connecting method and whatnot, and I cannot believe that we came so close. All we did was little wires, or sorry, little strings and whatnot. But yeah. This looks
so. Sandy, this is very close to what we said. We thought there would be 10 in parallel. There's 9. So, and then they're a little bit staggered. We had ours in a perfect row. Yeah. That's a little bit different. But one thing that Antonio pointed out in another video was that these collector plates, you call them bus bars, same thing, they're connected directly to the cell. On the other 2170 packs, you have the little wire bonds that go from the collector plates to the positive and the negative of the batteries. This is collector plate directly to the cell, which reduces the number of parts if you consider each wire bond being a separate part.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I like this a whole lot better because wire bonding and whatnot is a hit and miss kind of a thing. Plus, you're looking at a little teeny tiny wire. This has got a lot more voltage, like what, 3 times as much? 2 times as much voltage? This is 3 volts, 3.5 volts?
It's the same. It's a chemistry.
All right, fine. Well, anyway.
Right, Antonio? Chemistry remains the same.
All right, good enough. But here, what we're looking at is a giant opportunity for welding versus the little teeny wire bonds that, I don't know. I like this a whole lot better. Let's just put it that way. Well, it's the energy that's different. Yeah. The energy in here is 3 times greater or something.
There you go, yes.
Okay, sorry, I used the wrong term. The other thing I noticed is these trays. I really like this. I saw them before, but now I like them even better because if we look right here, let me put that over there. If we look right here, we see a little bump. Now that bump is right here, and basically what you do with that little bump is you fill it up with adhesive, and then you can't get this up. Now the rest of it's loose, but this is for locating. But these would be classified, if we were looking at the BMW i3, these would be classified as an onset. So I take that, push it down in the right place, it probably breaks a little bubble and turns it into a locating feature. That little bubble would be adhesive in the side there. Yeah. But, okay, I was just going to go to that.
The next thing I want to talk about is fasteners. At Monroe & Associates, we have a really detailed software which we analyze all of our products called Design Profit. And in there we have an extensive amount of symbols to cover threaded fastener operations. And in this entire pack, excluding the penthouse area, we only found 4 little fasteners on a subassembly right here, which we did not need to remove to get this out. And then there's 4 of these. So 16 total fasteners. They're all common, and these could easily be removed if you either glue it on or sonic weld it. This is a little vent for the box that protects the BMS board. And now we're going to talk about the BMS board. There's 2 of them. You have an odd and an even. They're different colors. If you get close enough there, Eric, you can see the word even. And you see the word odd in the same spot right there. Now these boards are the ones that are at the end of each of the 4 modules. Here is the interface to the wire that goes down the length of the battery. This is different than the Model 3 and the Model Y. The Model 3 and the Y had the wires directly bonded to the board. This now has a connector to interface with the BMS board. Tesla is also really good about labeling stuff. You see YSB BMB. So this is Y, Model Y, Structural Battery Pack, Battery Management Board. That's our assumption as to what it means. And our team is going to carefully analyze this, but these are very, very heavily populated boards. And on the BMS boards from the Model 3 and the Model Y, they started out as a square, and they were heavily populated. Then they became less and less populated. I believe that this is a better utilization of board space than we had on the Model 3 and the Model Y. But our team is going to dig into this and let us know the full cost.
You know, one of the things that I like about this is that they are different colors. And they pick colors that a lot of men are red-green colorblind. Now, if you're colorblind, this looks different than that. Whereas if it was red and green, then they would look pretty much the same to a colorblind person. So I'm really excited that they've done what they've done. This is kind of cool as well, in that it shows that Tesla is really looking at poka-yoke. Okay, so this is, I mean, Shingo would be really happy if he was still alive to see the way that Tesla's done what they've done here with these, with every one of the parts. You can't screw it up. I'm really, really thrilled with that.
And Tesla's really good about making large sub-assemblies that don't have any threaded fasteners. So I believe this was broken when we took this out. But you notice that each of these joints does not have a worm clamp. They don't even have constant tension spring clamps. And many of the connectors, I think almost all of the connectors, are snap in place. Yeah. And beyond just the thermal system, you have the vent on the edge. Here, hold that, Sandy. Yeah. Many of these vents on other battery packs we've seen have 1, 2, 3, 4 threaded fasteners securing them in. Just a snap fit. And not only is this a snap fit, it's poka-yoke. It can only be put in one way based on the shape. And the tiny little, what do you call that? It's a Gore-Tex. It's a Gore-Tex patch right there. That is also snap in place. So the elimination of fasteners is great because then you don't have the tools, you don't have the torque monitoring. Sandy, I know you've been making your career off that.
Exactly right. My whole career basically at Ford shot to the moon when I did the study on sealing and fastening and found out that our biggest enemy was threaded fasteners. When it came to things that went wrong, we almost always could go and point at a threaded fastener as being the problem. If you can get to a snap fit or a press fit, you're better off because first off, you don't need any tools, and secondly, they last forever. snap fit will last forever, whereas screws are inherently, they're really called a threaded unfastening tool. And by the way, did you notice that the crickets even listen to Monroe Live? Yeah.
I was going to say a joke. It's like when you talk, you never hear crickets.
Yeah, well, obviously this guy's applauding. So anyways, let's keep moving. Let's go down here to the pass-through, which I think is a good idea as well.
So this is an aluminum die casting. I'm trying to look for the material. A380. It's in cavity number 2. I believe the seal is it glued
That's
in?
going to be vulcanized
no, it's molded in place.
It's vulcanized in place. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I noticed that right away. So at Ford, again, a long time ago, I tried to bring this and use this kind of technology on the rocker covers. It took quite a while, but they actually went for it. Ford was the first one, and we got rid of a ton of leaks. This cost about, I don't know, it cost us a little bit more at Ford, but our leaks went down, and so consequently our maintenance went down, and basically what we heard from the dealerships was, hey, we're not making hardly any money on these rocker covers anymore. What did you do? And actually, some people were worried, well, you can't replace them. Well, we took this and shoved it into a scrap bin and chopped it all up, put it back on, and guess what? It still kept the rocker covers from leaking. So this is really brilliant. I haven't seen too much of that going on anymore, but that's really that's a cool idea that works really, really well. If you want to seal, vulcanized in place is a good way to do it. Yeah. What else?
So this has been an arduous journey for our team. We wanted to be really careful about how we disassembled this. I know a lot of our viewers said, why didn't you just buy the nasty chemical that dissolves it? Well, there was a bunch of other after effects we didn't want with that chemical, so choosing the dry ice blaster was a more methodical way for us to remove the pink stuff.
Right. Well, we did a couple of them. We bought a big jar, which we're not going to use. I'm not a big fan of chemicals, and in essence, it turned the pink stuff into something akin to watermelon, old watermelon. And it would have maybe got through a little faster, but I'm not a fan. So we use the mechanical method, and it's worked just fine. Yeah.
One last thing. Our team is very quickly working on a report for not only this battery pack, but for the whole 2022 Model Y. So if you're out there and you're in the engineering world and you're like, man, I'd really like to know what this thing cost. I'd like to know every material, the thickness of things, the layout of the packs. Why spend $70,000 on a car and then several $100,000 more for your organization to analyze it when we already have it done? So just send us an email at sales@leandesign.com and we can fast track your organization's
learning experience.
Yeah, there you go.
So I will tell you that it's not several hundred thousands because we've already heard from several of the OEMs. It costs about $1,200,000 plus the cost of the car to do things internally. At Monroe,
we're better.
We're better. We can get it done for about $780,000. However, and that's with costing and everything else. However, I think that a lot of people think, oh, that's a lot of money, and at the end of the day, this is cheap for the amount of information you're going to get. And the other thing we should mention is we're actually going to redo the old Model Y. The old Model Y was done in 2020, and there's been a lot of changes in material costs, labor rates, and things like that. So we're going to try and level set this so that if you wanted to, you could see for the additional money. Here's the old Model Y. Here's the new Model Y with the 4680 batteries, and you can see where the differences lie. And so we're going to come up with that. We're going to try and do stuff that people really and truly need and want. So we're going to do battery cost differential between LG pouch, 2170s, 4680s, and whatever else we can get our hands on, so that people can see what the differential is in the amount of cost associated with something the size of the 4680s versus all the other types of batteries that are out there.
And at Monroe, we're not selling you an ocean of data. We're actually catching the fish, cleaning it for you, and serving you dinner. So
exactly.
It's a little faster way to get what you want.
Yeah. So with that, I think we're good. So anyways, continue please to watch Monroe Live. And if you have a mind and you want to make Corey happy, subscribe. And we'll be talking to you soon with more of what we find here on the new Tesla Model Y, the 22 Model Y. Thanks so much for watching. Bye now.
Keep filming. Just stand here while the cricket chirps and just look at him. Just look.
He's in the corner.
Just stand there. Oh, stand here and look at him while it chirps. Don't smile.
Okay. I can't do it. You're gonna have to find somebody else.
I wanted that for Twitter.
Okay, good. You can do that. Yeah.